Uh, Gavin, you ready? Okay, let's go. All right, it is 6 o'clock, and I will call the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Boise School Board to order. And Clerk Mast, if you will go ahead and call the roll for the trustees.
Trustee Esty?
Here.
Trustee Greeley? Trustee Gregory? Trustee Langley?
Here.
Trustee Oppenheimer? Trustee Wagers?
Here.
All present.
Thank you, Clerk Mast. So we're going to change our item from our normal action. We've already had this in our agenda, but usually we go straight to Red and Gold Apple Awards. But tonight we have a special deal where we actually interviewed applicants for a new trustee earlier today, and we have that opportunity to select a trustee from the 3 finalists. And my first thing I'd like to do is thank the finalists so much. First of all, for applying, because we are lucky as a community to have people of your caliber that are willing to step up and serve in this very highly paid position. That requires very little of your time. But really, seriously, it is a big commitment, and all right, I love our current board, and they have stepped up to the task, and I have no doubt that any of the applicants that applied would be willing to do that, and the finalists were exceptional, and any of you would make a great trustee. So we appreciate your time and going through the application process, and then the 3 of you for making it through the interview process as well. So we'll go ahead. We have discussion as board members first, if we choose to, on this process. We will have a first ballot that we go through, so everybody has a ballot. If no trustee receives a majority at that point, no applicant, then we will go to a second ballot and potentially a third ballot as well. But we'll go ahead. Are there any discussions from any of the trustees? And if you're in the room, raise your hand or get my attention. If Alicia wants to bust in, then that's great. Trustee Gregory?
Okay, I think I'm on, correct? My light's on. Okay, how's that? Yeah. Well, I just have to echo President Wagers' comments that this has been an incredible field to choose from, and we are a community board, and board governance is, in my opinion, one of the closest to the people is a school board. And like he said, we get paid the big bucks that doubles every year, and we get to come and spend a lot of time together, all because we choose to make kids a high priority in our lives. And it really has shown in all 3 of the candidates that are the finalists. They have done the same thing, that we've walked the same paths as trustees before we became board members. And so I just have to say thank you for coming forward. And it was good to visit and hear from 2 returnees, and thanks for reapplying. And I think that this reflects the strength of our community in the quality of candidates that we've had. Just keeps getting better and better. So we haven't had a lot of discussion between ourselves, and so we're as mystified and eager as all the rest of you. So thank you.
Any other discussion from trustees or thoughts? Okay. Seeing none, so Trustee Esty, we'll have you email your vote in if you choose to vote. You may abstain if you choose, but you will email that in. You can go ahead and do that now. I'll ask all the trustees they need to sign their ballots, and these will be public record. They will be recorded. So if you will sign that, and then we'll give them to Clerk Mass, and she will tally the votes. Thank you.
We have a trustee, Andy Hawes.
Well, congratulations, Andy. It's like I said, I don't think this was an easy vote for any trustee. Three very highly qualified candidates that would bring lots to the district in many different ways. But congratulations to you, Andy. Christy and Doug, we're not done with you. You have been valuable allies for the district. We want you to continue to interact with the district, and we will provide opportunities we will reach out to you to provide opportunities to interact. So thank you again for applying. We will go ahead and go through now with the installation of the new trustee. So I think we have to do a swearing in. Clerk Mast.
Trustee Hawes, come on up. Go ahead and raise your right hand and repeat after me.
I do solemnly swear or affirm
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and the laws of this state
and the Constitution and laws of this state
and the Boise School District Board Commitment
and the Boise School District Board Commitment
and Code of Ethics.
and Code of Ethics,
That I will promote the interests of education
that I will promote the interests of education
and faithfully perform all the duties of the office of trustee
and faithfully perform all the duties of the office of trustee
of the Independent School District of Boise City,
of the Independent School District of Boise City,
especially charter school district
a specially chartered school
of
district
the state of Idaho,
of the state of Idaho,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
You may take your seat on the board.
Welcome, Trustee Hawes.
Have a seat before you faint. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you, Christy.
you.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank
And
you,
you're
Doug.
welcome to stay, but you're also welcome to leave. Thank you. Next, we go to the red and gold apple video presentations. So those will be done via video.
Good morning, students of Horizon Elementary. It's good to be with you this morning. It's our pleasure today to recognize an individual who has served the children of the Boise School District for almost 7 years. Never asking for or wanting recognition, this person always puts the needs of others first. This person has the unique ability to build relationships with her students and families. She is caring, compassionate, dedicated about education. She spends countless hours working to ensure students meet and exceed their goals. Much of her students' success lies in her ability to motivate them to be the best that they can be. Students know that she truly cares about their well-being and success in school and in life. It is in these relationships that she shines. During her tenure at Horizon Elementary, this person has provided leadership within the special education department. She provides meaningful insight into their multidisciplinary team discussions and leads the way in modeling effective instruction, testing, and individualized educational planning. In addition, this person has an amazing work ethic. She is always the first to volunteer to help our school community. She is always willing to provide assistance to a staff member in need, spread kindness, or do whatever is necessary to make everyone's day a little bit better. Her professionalism and dedication is unmatched. Her meetings are always scheduled on time, paperwork is thorough, and she effectively communicates to all stakeholders. It is our distinct honor to present the Red Apple Award for April 12, 2021 to Shonda Usura, special education teacher, Horizon Elementary, for outstanding service to education and for educating today for better tomorrow. Let's hear it for your nominee for the Red Apple Award. Shonda, please come forward. Now, boys and girls, this is the Red Apple Award in a red box with some gold lettering on it that says the Master Teacher. And here's the award. That has her name on it. And we've asked her if she wants to say a few things to Horizon Elementary students.
You should all be in class right now. But I thank you for being out here. This award really belongs to all of the teachers that are out here because it's a collaborative effort to teach you and help you become better citizens. But every day that I come to school and I work with my students, it's a reward in itself. So I feel like I'm rewarded every single day that I'm here at Horizon. Thank you so much.
Shonda, look out on the audience and see the signs that the children have made for you all the way. Thank you so much. This is one of the best presentations we've had.
It's a beautiful day here at the Highlands Elementary School. It's a lovely day for our Golden Apple Award. And it is our pleasure to recognize an outstanding individual who has served the Boise School District for over 30 years. This person knows the families and neighbors in the Highland Elementary School community and looks after each one. This person began her career at Hawthorne Elementary School and has served staff and students at Highlands for the past 20 years. She wears many hats, including full-time school support person, playground supervisor, caretaker of staff and students, and historical fountain of information regarding Highlands. This person is a child's best advocate. She will bend over backward to make sure teachers and staff feel supported. She has continuously volunteered to take on additional duties such as copying, laminating, and cleaning, just to name a few. And she is always willing to lend a hand in order to make other people's lives easier. For the last 3 years at the Highlands community, as the Highlands community left their building and moved into their temporary home at Fort Boise, and then moved into the new building, this person helped purge and pack and preserve over 60 years of Highlands memories. Her retirement this year will be felt by all. It is our district's honor to present the Golden Apple Award for April 12, 2021 to Ginger Jewell, School Support Assistant, Highlands Elementary School, for outstanding service to education and for educating today for a better tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your service for the last 30 years.
This is an honor. I'm humbled. I've been touched by so many lives and so many people, and I am just so grateful to have been here for as long as I have, and I say thank you.
Well, thank you to Trustee Langley and Trustee Gregory for going out awarding those the red and gold apples. And thank you so much to Shonda and Ginger for your great service to the school district. It's quite an honor to get those, considering we have how many employees, Kobe? 3,500, somewhere in there. So, and we have to pick, just 12, it's like 16 a year total that get that. So we really appreciate your service. We'll go ahead and move on next to the consent agenda items. Is there any trustee that would like to, do we need to pull any items from the consent agenda? No. So hearing none, I'd take a motion for the consent agenda items. Trustee Greeley.
Thank you, President Wagers. I move approval of the consent agenda items 1 through 5 and closures 1 through 17.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Trustee Langley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimous. Next, we'll go ahead and do reports and recommendations. And I believe we have a budget modification And I believe that's going to be CFO Landon.
Thank you, President Wagers. Before you this evening, you have a request to do a transfer from the general fund into the plant facility fund. It's something we normally do in the fall, as you're aware. Once we complete the audit this year, we chose to wait until we could kind of see where our finances landed and also what the state Department of Ed and also the Idaho legislature was going to do as it pertained to paying us based on attendance or on enrollment. At this point, they have made the determination, as far as we know, that we will move forward with getting funded on average enrollment. So therefore, we will not be losing funding because of being paid at enrollment instead of attendance. So I brought before you to move the balance. We normally move at least $5 million. We did $2 million earlier in the year, I believe in October, and I'm asking to move the other 3 tonight.
All right, thank you very much. Is there any questions from trustees? Okay, then I would entertain a motion. Trustee Greeley?
President
Oh.
Wagers. Okay, thank
Sorry,
you.
sorry. You
No,
can,
you're good.
I'll get
Um,
you trustee Gregory too, but go ahead.
Oh, you said
no,
trustee Gregory?
No, I said trustee
Okay.
Greeley. She was raising her hand though, so it's the balancing point.
Okay. Move approval to transfer the $3 million from the general fund to the plant facility fund as outlined in the enclosure.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Gregory. Any discussion?
Trustee Wagers?
Trustee Gregory.
Thank you, President Wagers. Thanks for bringing this forward. And as you said, this is a usual occurrence and one allowed by law to transfer a balance to the facilities fund. It's a movement that can only go one way. So it can't come back. And so we don't do it capriciously. We do it with reason and it represents an opportunity to support our facilities needs from our general fund budget outside of levying or bonds, which is just a kind of a drop in the bucket of what they are, but can be significant in the hands of Nancy and Tom Willis, which we know that they are good at making money stretch. And so I'm happy to support this motion.
Perfect, thank you.
And this is especially essential, and at least from my point of view, is in view of our facilities and the money that we're spending on building schools and things like this, our construction costs are not going down. Turns out they have exceeded expectations, sadly. And so it's very important to move these funds over so we can cover those costs as we provide the best facilities in Idaho for our children. Any other discussion from trustees? All right. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
And next we get to go safety busing. So I think Lynette is up for safety busing as usual. And so if you would go through that for us, Lynette Daw, we appreciate it. Supervisor Daw, I should say.
Trustees, tonight I'm bringing before you some safety busing changes for 3 areas. So Idaho code provides that we provide transportation for students that are living 1.5 miles or more from their school. If we desire to provide transportation for students that live within the 1.5 miles from the school, it's considered safety busing. And we have a board policy that has some specific criteria that outlines when safety busing is provided, which is then reviewed and approved by the board. So recently we have a district safety busing committee that reviewed a couple of areas, and I'd like to bring up those maps and just briefly show you what areas we're proposing changes to. So I'd like to start with Hawthorne Elementary. This map is showing the current walking area for Hawthorne. And so the area that we're proposing a change is along Overland Road. And the light gray is current walking with the green pathways. And the darker tannish brown is busing. And so there was recently in the last year sidewalk provided on the south side of Overland, connecting from the current walking zone over to the rest of the area, down to within 1.5 miles. So the proposal, here's a map of the proposed change, what it would look like, the new area that would possibly be walking.
1 second. So we're getting a different screen on our, there we go. Thank you.
Seems to be taking a moment to load all of the layers in the ArcGIS map. So I wonder if I'll just go back to the original map and just try to explain it from there, the one that was showing. Well, I don't want to keep you all delayed, so I think I can just, if you want a visual, that is, we maybe can move on without a visual, but I can bring up Hawthorne Elementary here and show you because those layers are taking a while to load. So currently all the area around Hawthorne is walking. Up here, Overland Road, they would be connected to Columbus over to Federal Way, down to here is the 1.5 miles. The other students living south of that area, they are within 1.5 miles, but only if they use Malad Street to get over to the school, which currently does not have any sidewalk or a safe crossing. So the proposal is for the this section right here of Hawthorne. And then I'd like to show you Maple Grove Elementary. We'll see if this one's going to work. Looks like that one's Hawthorne. I think I will close these Hawthorne ones. Maybe that'll help the situation. Okay, so I'll just go with this one that has the walking paths, the green lines on it. This is Maple Grove Elementary's current walking zone. The area that we're proposing that's within 1.5 miles that does now have sidewalks is right here. This is Cole Road and Victory. And so the students right now living off of Victory are currently walking to school. This addition affects one family within the 1.5 miles in this area where sidewalk has been completed just recently. And the other change that we are requesting for Maple Grove Elementary is actually the addition of safety busing while construction is occurring on Maple Grove Road. So all of the students that are in this area north of Maple Grove Elementary, we did go ahead and start providing busing earlier this year when the construction, the road closed, there was a lot of construction. And we are continuing that, and we will continue to monitor until that's provides a safe walking path for students. These changes were communicated to the families affected, 1 family for Maple Grove and 8 families for Hawthorne. We did not receive any comments back from any Hawthorne families. We did receive 1 comment back from a Maple Grove family, but it did come in after the cutoff deadline. And so I had a conversation with that family, and it's my understanding that there was not any testimony submitted to the board. And so now I stand for any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions for Supervisor Dahl on the safety busing? So this is something we do on a regular basis. Lynette presents to us, and we try and make sure we meet the community's needs, and they revolve sometimes around construction and lots of different, and you have a whole committee that goes through this as well, I believe. I would entertain a motion.
President Wagers,
Trustee Gregory.
I move we accept the safety busing recommendations outlined in this enclosure. Let me see which one it is. Enclosure 19 for Maple Grove and Hawthorne.
Second from Trustee Oppenheimer. Any discussion from trustees? Take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All ayes. Thank you, Supervisor Dow. Appreciate your
Thank
work. We'll go on to other business. And this is kind of a fun one. We like this this part of what we do. We have the chance to proclaim, we'll do a proclamation. Well, we have to take an action item on the proclamation for the Boise Independent School District for the Week of the Young Child. And I'll go ahead and read that proclamation. Then if we choose to have, a motion associated with that in a second, that would be great. Whereas the Boise Independent School District, in conjunction with the Idaho Association for the Education of Young Children, the Idaho AEYC, is celebrating the Week of the Young Child, April 10th through the 16th, 2021. And whereas this organization is working to promote and inspire high-quality early childhood experiences for our state's youngest citizens that can provide a foundation of learning and success for children in Boise, Idaho. And whereas teachers and others who work with or on behalf of young children, birth through age 8, who make a difference in the lives of young children in Boise deserve thanks and recognition. And whereas public policies that support early learning for all young children are crucial to young children's futures and the prosperity of our society. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Trustees of the Boise Independent School District, do hereby proclaim April 10th through 16th, 2021, as the Week of the Young Child in Boise, Idaho, and encourage all citizens to work, to support, and invest in early childhood in Boise. Is there a motion that goes along with this proclamation? Trustee Greeley?
I move approval of the proclamation as outlined in enclosure 20.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second from, actually, Trustee Hawes beat Trustee Esty barely. He's already in. Is there any discussion on this proclamation?
President Wagers.
Trustee Gregory.
I think that we joined and issued this proclamation last year as well, and I think it's fitting we do it again. I like the clear message that it sends that we are in support of things that benefit our youngest children, and they really, it affects what we do exponentially if they have access to high quality early childhood experiences and come to us ready to learn. And so I find this entirely supportable as a district.
Thank you, Trustee Gregory. Any other commentary? I just, that in some ways for me, it shows our desire to support kindergarten, to support pre-K. Even though we don't get fully funded from those items, we still do those items. And we understand the value that pre-K and kindergarten hold for the lifelong education of children. If we can start early, they do better. And that's just, once again, Dave's opinion, but all in favor of that. And thank you for the, I think Idaho AEYC, thank you for the proclamation and going ahead with this, trying to make the Week of the Young Child for all students in Idaho. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Director Anderson, I believe we're now at a policy. What fun. And I say that like I really mean it. If you would go ahead and walk through your changes.
As though you really mean it, as though. Well, good evening, President Wagers and trustees. We just have two policies up for second reading. And we actually did not get any input back, so there are no substantial changes since the first time you saw those. So I will stand for questions if there are any.
Are there any questions for Director Anderson on policy 3520 and policy 3521? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion. Trustee Greeley.
I move approval of the policy revisions 3520, 3521, effective July 1st, 2021.
Is there a second? Second from trustee Langley. Any discussion from the trustees on these changes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Anderson. Wow, this is cruising right along. My kind of board meeting. No. Just with you on the board, Trustee Hawes. This is good. You just need to make this happen every time. So we are now at board trustee and superintendent comments. Any comments from either the trustees or the superintendent? Trustee Greeley.
Wow, that was quick. Thank you, President Wagers. Trustee Hawes, I just want to welcome you to the board and appreciate your willingness to step forward.
Any other? Trustee Oppenheimer?
Thank you, President Wagers. I echo what Trustee Greeley says. Trustee Hawes, and thank you for sticking with it. And I know this is an awkward situation where you don't know if you should turn your head around or if you should look at the screen. But we're excited to have you on board, and you know, it's a big learning curve and takes some patience, but we're here to help you in any way you can. So welcome.
President Wagers.
Superintendent Dennis.
I would also like to echo that. Welcome to the board, Trustee Haas. We will begin reaching out to you to do some onboarding as an administrative team to bring you kind of up to speed on a bunch of different things, hopefully here in the next week or two. So we'll have Sharon reach out and find some dates that, and you'll start with meeting with Deputy Superintendent Roberts and myself, and we'll kind of go through some organizational structure with you, and then kind of work our way through a whole bunch of different trainings to get you kind of up to speed. So welcome.
Yeah, that up to speed thing, that'll take about 2 years. So you can just plan on that because you won't get the acronyms down until then.
Yeah.
At least as far as I know. Trustee Langley still, and I know Trustee Doe never got them down. But he was fighting against all these other fire acronyms. No, but welcome to the board, Andy. I will reach out to you at some point and we'll have coffee soon and lay out some ground rules for trustees and all those fun things that we get to go through. But actually, there's a couple of people that retired that I'd just like to note. And one was Ted Hediga, who was actually principal at Timberline. And he was also principal at Hillside when my kids were there, which I'm going to miss Mr. Hediga. And then also Holly McLean, who was principal of TVMSC. She was also principal when my son was at TVMSC. So just a couple personal notes for me on those retirements. We miss all the folks that retire, but those two definitely made an impact on the district as well. Any other board superintendent comments? Trustee Gregory?
Thank you, President Wagers. So those of you who are closely following the legislative work will know that things are moving fast and furious and calendars are being cleared. I'm hoping that all of you are getting the email from Quinn Perry that this time was quite abbreviated in terms of the usual capital notes that come out. We have 2 bills that are just, on the cusp right now. And that one is Senate Bill 1061, which has to do with the August election date removal. And, things are moving in such a way that your head can just keep spinning from one side to the other as things get negotiated and settled. And then the next day they appear with the negotiations undone. And so, unfortunately, when we say write your senators, except for me, everybody else's senator is pretty much in line. So I've written my senator, who is in District 15 and the only Republican, and expressed our opposition to the election dates changing. And this really, it has more of an impact on rural Idaho than, I mean, we can deal with it, but it's not our, this August date is important to schools. It's important to schools. And negotiated in good faith back when election consolidation happened. And now it's being stripped. The attempt is made to strip it out again. So we're hoping that we can prevail on the floor of the Senate. So we can preserve that August election date for many districts who depend on that as a last ditch effort to keep their doors open. And then House Bill 66, which is levy disclosure, it needs to go to the full Senate and then back over to the House. So we're hoping that it gets a rallying pass on the Senate floor so that the House will leave it alone and let it go through without playing with it again. I would note that I'm hoping that most of you received a postcard for what is now being renamed Spring Leadership Conference instead of Summer Leadership Conference or Summer Leadership Institute, as the ISBA has pivoted that to the spring because of changes in trustee elections other than our own. And then my third thing is we should look ahead and calendar some board training. So that's all, President Wagers.
Yeah, so that ISBA spring training, I think, is May 6th,
Mm-hmm.
1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at West Ada School District. So it's not too far to travel. And I just will ask at some point, probably in a couple of weeks, whether you would choose to attend or not as trustees, because we'll need to get you registered. Any other trustee or superintendent comments? Yes, Trustee Hawes.
Talked about appreciation of teachers who have retired and recognizing their contributions. And my last nomination was signed by my fourth grade teacher who was retired many years ago, and she was very instrumental in my life at a time that was pretty tough in fourth grade. And she was my only outlet as far as to deal with some stuff. So appreciate all the teachers and look forward to serving the community and working with all of you.
Thank you, Trustee Hawes, and welcome to the board. Seeing no other comments, I would entertain a motion.
President Wagers,
Trustee Langley,
I move to adjourn.
been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Trustee Oppenheimer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Board meeting is adjourned.